Hey, good morning, Internet. This is Blind Justice on the streets of Washington. This is day 37, streets of Aberdeen, Washington. Day 37 of our peaceful protest, Rusting is Not a Crime, sitting out front of City Hall. And just wanted to talk to you guys about some of the double standards here in the local government. So, people have noticed, in the council meetings, that there's a 3-minute limit for public comment, but there is basically an unlimited time for the council comment, right? So your voice isn't as important or as valued as a council person or somebody on the other side of the room, according to how it's set up with the governmental rules. But we all know that's not true. We all know we all have an equal voice, which is why our petition is such a great example of that. If the mayor wants to sign it, he can sign it, and his counts as one, just like any other person who signs the petition. So that's cool. Some of the other areas that we've seen governmental double standards here is with the sign incident, just right here in the planters behind me, or just to my side, when the code enforcer came out and attacked us for having signs. And he didn't even know what code he was enforcing, right? But then we walked around yesterday, actually a few days ago, I had a conversation with one of the business owners and talking about the different things about the sidewalks, because that's what this ordinance is about. Some people complain that the people sitting down are blocking the sidewalks, right? So blockage of the sidewalks has been one of the concerns. So we started looking at, in discussion with this business owner, he raised the question of some of the signage, sandwich boards and other temporary signs on the sidewalks from other business owners. And he mentioned that, or hinted that they may not be following the code. So we've researched that, and sure enough, a lot of the signs on the sidewalks in the downtown business sector, business improvement district, that are owned by the businesses are not following the municipal code. So if our friend in here, Bill Cedor, is so passionate about sign codes, why isn't he out enforcing it on the businesses? Well, it's because the businesses, business owners, maybe they get more of a vote than non-business owners. Maybe that's going on, some kind of double standard here, right? We've kind of seen this play out over the last few months, where we have harassment and assault from the government to peaceful protesters, and people doing a vigil, like saying prayers for people who've died, and being harassed by city officials, by council people, and no response from the city government to correct that harassment, or re-educate the people who are doing the harassment, not even admitting that it is a form of harassment or assault. But when the public goes to ask a public official for public comment, because the public official isn't available, like they don't have offices here, some of the city council people don't. So when you go to a city council person to try to get a public comment in public, they cry that that's harassment. Like, there's some double standard going on in this local government. And so another interesting thing, I'm standing right here in front of City Hall now, and this is a handicap parking sign, right? So one of the things that I pointed out to the local government here, the Public Works Department and the Parks and Rec Department, are how the city is not following the ADA regulations, the Americans with Disabilities Act regulations. So this sign isn't in regulation because if a blind person like myself is walking, right? Oh, look, there's a pole. I'm just going to go to the side of the pole and keep walking, and then run into the sign, because the sign jets off, 5 inches off of each side of that pole. Okay, so for it to be in compliance, it needs to go up 80 inches, so it's above most people's head height, or there needs to be some kind of indicator below the sign where the stick or a cane can read it, that there's something above it, right? So that's just an example, and I think it's the most comical example, or ironic, because this is literally a handicap sign. So you think they'd get the handicap sign in compliance with the Americans with Disabilities Act regulations, but no, they don't. So I informed them that was jacked up, and there's other signs and things. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get it in the shot, but there's a pole on the intersection that has the traffic lights, and it has the access panel box somewhere back here behind me across the street, and that access panel box is also not in compliance because that one's a bigger object, heavier object, and it's higher up, so it's right at head level for me, and there's no indication underneath that there's something suspended that I'm gonna get, run into with my face. And I've run into many of these obstacles in the city, and I've brought them to the city's attention. So we're gonna just wait and see if they do anything about it. But the Parks and Rec involvement is for the trees, because the trees are hanging down, way below 80 inches on a lot of the sidewalks. So whether you're sighted or not, I'm sure you've probably run into them. I do a lot. So double standard is that the city gets to cry wolf and say, oh, you guys are breaking the law, and you guys are, try to enforce it on the people, but who keeps the city accountable? Who keeps the city official accountable? That's what we're trying to do. That's what Blind Justice is trying to do. Put on the spotlight here and just watch the cockroaches scurry around. Watch people freak out. I'm not calling the people cockroaches, just saying that all the different skeletons in the closets come to light. All the different areas where they're not in compliance of their own laws. It's like, people freak out. They're looking at us. So we're trying to keep them accountable. Keep them accountable to the rules that they establish for themselves. Like, these are the rules that they set up. Play by your own rules, So that's some serious double standard going on here in Aberdeen, Washington. Just to name a few. There's a whole bunch more. And if you want to comment on it and share some other experience, other ideas of how there's double standard with the government and with the people, then feel free. So, alright everybody, peace and love, and I think we may try and do Walmart today for signature gathering later in the afternoon. So you can come out there. If you haven't signed our petition yet, you can sign it there. If you want to help petition, we're going to try that today. And alright, Deo Presto Liber.